In the previous video, we played around with the idea of Newton's method. Now we're going to condense everything into something very neat. Okay, so let's say you start out with your complicated function here, and you want to find out the root here. So you would then start out with your guess. Let's just say x0, and then you would put your guess into here, and then that will allow you to jump to this point here. So the coordinates here will be x0, comma. Well, you could say this. Okay, so the y value would be you putting it into here, and then that will then give you this here. Okay, you could say this, but we're just going to say y0. Okay, so the coordinates here will be y0, and then the idea here is to draw a tangent line at this particular point. So come up with an equation for this tangent line. Okay, and well, the equation for this line here will be in the form of y minus y0 equals m, and then x minus x0 here. Well, the gradient. Well, to find out the equation of this straight line here, we need to know the gradient at this particular point. So the gradient will be, well, start with this, differentiate it, and then that will give you this, and then the gradient at this particular point will be when you put x0 into here. So the gradient at this particular point here will be f and f prime of x0. Okay, so the gradient at this particular point here will be this. So now you can put this into the m. Okay, so that will then give you y minus y0 equals f prime of x0, and then x minus x0. Okay, and then so now we've got this here is the equation of our straight line here. Now we would then want to find out this point here. So the y value of this particular point here will be 0. So you set y to be 0. You set y to be 0. That will then give you this minus y0 equals f prime of x0, and then x minus. But basically, once you've got your equation for your straight line here, set y to be 0. Set y to be 0. Then work backwards to find out this x, and this x here is this point here. Okay, so set y to be 0 here. Rearrange this, so that will then give you well, rearrange it. So starting from here, divide both sides by this block here, because at the moment you've got this block multiplying with this block here. So divide both sides by this. That will then give you negative y0 over f prime of x0 here equals x minus x minus x0 here. And don't forget, we are trying to work backwards to find out x. This x here represents this x here. Okay, so now add x0 to both sides. That will then give you this. But basically, x will equal this. X will equal this. x0 and then minus y0 over f prime of x0. Okay, so basically add this to this side. X will become this. Okay, so now if you try and look, when you get to this stage here, try and understand what's going on here, because you would start out with your guess, put your guess into the original function here. That will then take you to here, and then blah blah blah. Then this x here, this x here will be your next guess. So what it's saying is that this here would be your first guess, and then blah blah blah. This here will be your next guess. So you can then say this. You can then say You can then say this. Start out with your guess xn, and then do do this yn over f prime of xn, and then this here will then give you your next guess. Your next guess will be n plus 1. So from here you can actually translate it to this, because what it's saying is that you start out with x0 and then blah blah blah. It gives you your x1 here. This is your next guess. So from here we can translate it to this, meaning that you start out with any guess and then blah blah blah. Your next guess will be this. Okay, so Newton's method is, well, you can condense it to this. Okay, just bear in mind that make sure that this bit here, make sure f prime of xn does not equal 0, because what that means is that if you get to this stage here, if you guess this, if f prime equals 0, if f prime equals 0 here, then what you've done is your straight line will be horizontal like this. So here it would be a bad guess. So you have to make a different guess. So yeah, so f prime equals 0 would imply that you've guessed at a bad place. So make another guess.